Hello, everybody, and welcome to Question Everything TV. Today, we are talking about how to break brainwashing. Now, I know your first thought is, Akashic, I'm not brainwashed. What are you talking about? Stick with me through this video, and I think before the end of it, you'll realize that what you don't know is being held against you, and that you're more brainwashed than you think. But don't worry, I'm gonna give you solutions on how to break it and become your own person and think your own thoughts. Stay with me to the end as Question Everything TV explores how to break brainwashing. So, before we get to the solution, first we need to diagnose the problem. You don't do surgery until you understand the problem and where to cut. So first, let's diagnose the problem. And there's two ways that you're being brainwashed. The first way is through vocabulary or your lack thereof. I explained in a couple videos ago, how what you know in your vocabulary creates your reality. What you don't know, you don't observe in your reality. I gave an example in that video of 4 people entering a new construction house with 4 different professions and how they saw the house in 4 different ways, all based on their knowledge and vocabulary. Well, the same thing is happening to you, even on a bigger scale, and the elites who run this reality that we live in now understand this. So they use words that you don't understand as having a subliminal and vibrational effect on you. And without your knowledge, they are shaping your reality. Now, let me tell you, I've done a ton of research on the etymology of words. I've studied the etymology in Latin, in Greek, Hebrew, Sanskrit. So I'm not saying that I'm a doctor, but I've taken it upon myself to really dive deep into that. And what I found is that words have been manipulating you and you don't even know it because you don't understand the real root meaning of it. Especially 2-syllable words. 2-syllable words is a combination of words put together to create a narrative, and you don't even know what's happening with that narrative because you think it's one thing and it's another thing. Now, I can give you a ton of examples, but for sake of time, let me give you one example. One example is the word government. You think that the word government just means the structure of your governmental system, the structure of your laws and order and things like that. When actually, if you break the word government down and separate the syllables and then go to their root word, the first part of the word government is govern. The etymology of that word means to control or to have authority over. So right there, they're saying the first part of government is to control. The second part, meant, is in its base root word etymology means mind or spirit. So now you put those 2 words together, and the real root meaning of the word government is to control your mind or to have authority over your spirit. Just think about that. Something that you think means just a structure of society, actually from the elite's perspective means to have control over your mind, to have authority over your spirit. Let me give you another example. In the Bible, when Jesus comes out of the wilderness, his first words are, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." Now, most people who are Christians believe that the word repent means to show remorse or to say you're sorry and all these things. But in all actuality, the root word of repent means to change directions, to go back, to rethink. So when Jesus came out of the wilderness, he was telling you to change your thinking. Why? Because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And through his teachings, the kingdom of heaven was where? The kingdom of heaven was within you. The kingdom of heaven was within you. He always said that over and over. So what has been changed to say, be remorseful and sorry, really means to change direction and go within yourself, to find God within you, because God is everywhere and everything. So the key here is, if you don't know the vocabulary and the base roots of the words you're saying, like I've been saying the last couple of videos, what you don't know is being held against you. Now, even more than that, there was a doctor named Dr. Momoto, and he did an experiment on water and their molecules and how words affect them. So what he did was he took some water and he put words, taped words to the water bottles, and words like I love you, thank you, I'm grateful. And then on some other water bottles, he put I hate you, you're ugly, just negative words. And he let those water bottles sit overnight. And then the next day, he froze it and then looked at the water crystals. And all of the positive word affirmations, the crystals were very beautiful. They were very structured and nice. And then in all the negative water bottles, the crystals were deformed, exploded. They just looked very ugly. And through this research, we are 70% water. So if in knowing this and in understanding that research, whatever words you are saying, whether you understand the meaning or not, has a vibratory effect on the water in you. So if you're saying government and an essence of you think it's one thing, but actually it means another thing, well, then your body's frequency is still resonating with the true meaning of the word. So you're being programmed without your knowledge because you don't know any better. Something to think about. So now let's go into the second part. So the second part of brainwashing happens with something which is called the tyranny of words. The tyranny of words goes like this. So say this is my cell phone, right? And we agree that this is a cell phone. Even though it's not a cell phone, it's a collection of atoms, but we have agreed to call this collection of atoms a cell phone, or a bird, or an elephant, whatever. That's called an agreement. We agree that this form is this. I cannot change your mind on that. There's an agreement. I agree that this is a phone. You agree that this is a phone. So this is what we're labeling a phone. That's called an agreement. Then there's words that don't have agreement, like love. We can't say that love is orange, or love is tall, or love is short. There's no agreement on the word love because we can't collectively come together and say a thing is love. When you have a word that does not have an agreement, then I can manipulate you. And religions and politics do this all the time. and it's being done to you through commercials, through, like I said, religion, politics, and you don't know that it's happening. But I'm going to explain to you how it happens right now. Let's take religion, for example. You go to church and the pastor, preacher, whatever you want to call it, gets up and says, let's talk about the goodness of God. Boom. No agreement. So now I can manipulate you. God is some white bearded man in heaven, this, that, and the third. And because you are open to my suggestion and there's no agreement, now I'm implanting information in your head. God is this, God is that. There's no agreement. And where does God live? God lives in heaven. Heaven, boom, no agreement. Heaven is this place with golden roads, mansions, and you get to worship God all day. And there's angels, boom, no agreement. Angels are these winged creatures. They're the messengers of God, and they do his bidding and blah, blah, blah. And if you don't do right on earth, you're going to go to hell. Hell, boom, no agreement. Hell is this place where it's fire and damnation and torture and the lake of fire. And the person who rules hell is Satan. Satan, boom, no agreement. Satan is the adversary of God. He was an angel and God threw him out. And now if you don't do right, Satan's going to do this, that, and third. And Satan makes you do all these bad things. And he has these demons, boom, no agreement. Demons are these bad creatures and they do this and that. You get the point. The point is that when there's no agreement, you can be manipulated. They do it in politics all the time. Now, I don't do politics and I don't get in all the controversy, but I do observe what's happening. So, for instance, like in this last election, now President Trump kept saying the enemy within. We gotta fight the enemy within. Who's the enemy within? Boom, no agreement. Now I can tell you the enemy within is ruining our country and this and that. You can be manipulated because there's no agreement. President Bush did this with weapons of mass destruction. Boom, no agreement. What are weapons of mass destructions? Now I can go and he's going to terror you and it's going to explode and this and that. And so we even went to war over something that we didn't have an agreement on. Do you understand what's happening now? The tyranny, this is called the tyranny of words. You're being manipulated through words that you can't agree on. If there's an agreement, I can't tell you that a dog is a cat because we agree that a dog is this. We agree that a cat is this. Because there's an agreement, there's no manipulation. Without an agreement, I can manipulate you. And you didn't think you were brainwashed, did you? So, that being said, what's next? Well, solutions. From the first part, your vocabulary, obviously the solution is learning more words. I make it a habit to learn at least the minimum of 3 words a day, 3 new words a day. I understand them so I can understand and use them in my vocabulary. Now, it's pretty easy for me because the books that I read are pretty heavy. So I probably learn about 10 to 15 words a day. But if you can just make a point to learn 3 words a day, it will increase your vocabulary and you will understand and your reality will grow leaps and bounds. The second part is understand that words create vibration in you. So guard against those words that will create a negative vibration in you. And like I said in my last video, what happens to the gift that is not accepted? It stays with the giver. So don't accept those negative vibration words, especially once you start to understand them with the increase of your vocabulary. Now, with the tyranny of the words, you have to guard against what anyone is putting in your mind. So whenever somebody says something to you, whether it's religion, politics, TV, social media, and you see that there's no agreement, you have to stop. You cannot let somebody put their thoughts in your mind. You have to close it off right then and there, and then do your own research on what those words mean and have your own opinions. That's how you break brainwashing, is to seek knowledge and seek truth. If you do that, no one can implant things in your head that you don't want. You become aware. And this is the whole thing that I've been trying to get out through all my videos. So, have you been brainwashed? If now you can honestly say, yeah, I have. Well, now you have the tools to break the brainwashing and become an independent thinker and think for yourself. Let all that sink in. So I thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope you got some value from it. If so, it would be my honor if you liked and subscribed. We're trying to dispel one illusion at a time, and we're trying to all wake up, because if we all wake up, we create a better world. So I am Akashic. This is Question Everything TV. And until we meet again, namaste.